Good afternoon. It's midday from London. My name is Vikas Pota. I'm the founder and CEO of T4. I always pinch myself with the kind of guests that we bring onto this show for the simple reason that they're very busy people. They're very hard to get hold of, and they do some enormously important jobs in education. And today's guest is absolutely typifies that profile and I'm pleased that today we use this opportunity to actually bring forward a partnership with the Western Cape of South Africa, the Ministry of Education there. And I'm delighted that the Minister, Debbie Schäfer, is our guest today. Debbie, welcome to T4 TV. And today we want to celebrate the partnership that we have formed for the upcoming Teacher Tech Summit.
Thank you, Vikas, and good afternoon to all of you, all over the world, I guess.
I think your internet is freezing, but nonetheless, we shall persist. So, Debbie, in terms of we read a lot about pandemic recovery and subjects connected to that during all the hardship that's been brought on. Can you just tell us and our audience today what is it that you have experienced and what is the current status of schooling and return to schooling in the Western Cape in South Africa?
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thanks, Vikas, and good afternoon to your viewers. It's been a very difficult road the last 2 years. Obviously, at the beginning, it was really, really difficult for everyone because it was such a new phenomenon. This coronavirus was unknown to us. And there was a huge amount of anxiety across the board, including in government and in our schools, teachers, parents, and it was very difficult to try and manage because there was actually almost that kind of hysteria among some people and some quarters, and some people aggravated it instead of assisting us to manage it. But now that it's gone on, the vaccination has rolled out, and we've seen the latest Omicron variant being a lot less serious in its effects on people. I think it's a lot more stable. And actually, you've got me on a good day because our national government just last night announced that we're going to go back to school full time now. We've been doing rotational timetabling because we had to maintain a 1 meter distance between learners. And we're trying to get that changed for a while now because of the devastating effects of the learning losses that we've seen on our learners, as well as the social effects as well. Parents are battling to try and have their children at home, and there's just no consistency and stability. So we're very excited about that because I think that's going to make a huge difference to our learners. So we are in a very different place now. I think we have relied a lot on our health authorities, and I think they've given us really good advice because all our stats have shown that the measures we have put in place have in fact really it has prevented the virus from spreading in our schools. So I think we're in a far better place now.
And tell me, in terms of Debbie, when I hear about things that happen in South Africa, there seems to be a huge amount of focus on what is referred to as psychosocial support and the need for it. What are you doing in the Western Cape to kind of bridge that gap that may exist?
Well, I mean, it's been a huge. Psychosocial support I think is needed across the board, not only in schools. I think this pandemic really has affected everybody. There's a lot of mental illness out there, and we've made it as the Western Cape one of our focus areas as part of our recovery plan. We're focusing on 3 particular areas. One is well-being, and included in the well-being is very much a focus on mental wellness, and then there's also jobs, of course, and safety. So. In schools, our support teams have done very well to pivot, from what we were doing to more specific focus areas in our schools. We have got a teacher wellness program anyway, always. We've got a service provider that is able to address those issues, and teachers can contact privately if they need assistance. And we have a hotline available, which we have had before as well, but it's a toll-free helpline where people can call if they need particular help. And our schools have also really tried hard to look out for people who need extra assistance. But it's been difficult. I mean, our health professionals in that area are really under strain because there's a lot of need out there.
And so, Debbie, we're hosting the Teacher Tech Summit on the 25th and 26th of March, as you're aware, and you're very kindly agreed to partner with us. Last year when we had this event, it was very much focused on helping teachers incorporate technology in their practice, given the increasing use of technology as a result of the pandemic. The program that we have this year is quite rich in terms of content and very diverse in terms of programming. What stands out for you in terms of why you think teachers should participate in this particular event?
There were two that caught my eye particularly, and the one is what the future of work holds for the students of today. I think as education, we really need to focus on why we are here and what we're doing every day. We're not here just to, for fun. What we need to do is ensure that our learners are equipped for when they leave school. And we just had a 2.5 day, what we call in South Africa, a lekgotla. It's like a big conference seminar on education arranged by the National Minister. And it was very, very interesting there to see that there was a lot of focus on skills for the future and how we do it. And there was general consensus that our curriculum is actually quite good. We can teach the skills that we need. We must just put a bit more focused attention on that. So I think that's really, really interesting because it's crucial that we've got a huge unemployment rate in South Africa. I'm not sure about other countries. I don't think it's nearly as bad, but a lot of young people are not able to find work. And it really is important that we align what we're doing in schools and equipping them for when they leave school to be productive members of society.
Yeah, so we have two sessions on related to the future of work, and I'm really delighted that we have two captains of industry actually who run humongous enterprises from around the world, who are actually weighing in and actually spending their time with us to help educators and those in education actually think about. So the first is Jonas Preising of the Manpower Group, which is one of the largest resourcing companies. And the second is Hans Vestberg of Verizon, one of the largest telecommunications companies in the world. And both of these captains of industry are very invested in education. They want to help teachers actually figure out, well, how do we answer that question when little Johnny actually asks us, what should we do for our future? And it's that, and I'm really grateful to them for taking part. Debbie, in terms of the program, that's one part of it. But when you think about it from a teacher perspective, what are the reasons apart from those two particular sessions that you think teachers should actually participate, who should take this step forward and register for the event?
Well, before I do that, I didn't get to my second one actually. And that is the second one that I really like is the issue of whether a university degree is the worst investment a young person can make, because I think that is a very topical issue. And it certainly will be able to be used to highlight the importance of education that does not involve high university, which important though that is for various professions. But why they should attend, as you said, there's some really excellent sessions on a wide variety of topics with practical sessions, which can be applied to our teachers when they teach in the classroom. So it's not just an abstract discussion. It's about how you can actually apply it and learn from other people who are doing it. And I think that's really crucial. So we've also got a huge number of things to share from our side. I hope some of our teachers will also be involved. We've got some excellent examples of using digital technology to cope with teaching during a pandemic. And I hope very much that some of them will actually come on as well and share that with your viewers.
So we have an example of Dominique from the Western Cape, who is a teacher there, saying greetings from Cape Town. So you are rest assured that your teachers are engaged on our platform.
Excellent.
And so the debate that we have two debates actually during the pandemic, during the Teacher Tech Summit. The first being that formal debates are a great way of actually putting forward different perspectives of a discussion. And so the first one is that this house believes that EdTech is the backdoor entry into the privatization of education. And this conversation is rearing its head slowly but surely. But the second one you mentioned, which is around that this house believes that a university degree is the worst investment a young person can make. And actually, coincidentally, the person actually opposing that argument is the Vice Chancellor of University of Cape Town, Kitty. And so you will see a Cape Town resident for sure leading that debate in terms of trying to make sure that argument is put forward in how teachers should think about the future of education, especially given micro-credentials and that kind of thing that is now often spoken about, in all these kind of fora. Debbie,
that will be fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That'll be fascinating. She'll do herself out of a job.
No, well, no, she's defending universities, right? And so on the
Oh,
other
she's
side,
defending. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
on the other side, we have this most incredible speaker who works for a coding company in London, and basically what they do is, people who can enroll onto their programs, and over a period of, I think it's 3 months, they pick up enough skills to actually go straight into jobs. They pay them real
Mm,
money, as opposed
yeah,
to 3 years becoming a software engineer at university.
yeah,
And so the question really does rise in terms of, well, are some degrees worth the money? And
mm,
is the experience that you get at university, can you really justify the massive expense that comes from it after 3-4 years? And so these are
mm,
great discussions to be having. And you're absolutely right. I think they'll captivate everyone. But, the
mm,
thing that I'm most looking forward to is our teacher masterclasses. And those are, we just last night, actually, our competition to source pitches from teachers around the world, and so that we can actually see from them their practice. So it's a show and tell kind of effort in our masterclasses in these 5
mm,
areas. And this is also one of the reasons why I think teachers should participate. And we're talking about, you'll find teachers from around the world talking about how they create engaging digital content, how they assess using online learning tools, how they ensure learner safety in online learning, how they design effective digital pedagogies, and also this, how to use new technologies to enable better learning, regardless of the context, and what
mm,
can be done. And so I think these will be very, very powerful. And so what teachers ought to do, in terms of their participation, is go to teachertechsummit.org and register. We have registration in 5 different languages. You're able to participate, and I'm sure we'll have a humongous turnout as a result of your support as well. Debbie, are there any final thoughts as to the use of technology in education that you'd like to share on this interview, as a way of pointing everyone out, making everyone understand why opportunities like these, which I categorize as high quality professional development, should take primacy? Please give us some words of support and encouragement.
Yeah, look, I think, as you say, there are many people who don't have access to all the facilities that online technology can give. But we have seen some incredibly amazing use of different methods, that even poorer communities have. So, like WhatsApp, for example, it was used a lot during the pandemic, and I think it can also it can really give a lot of benefits on things like mathematics, for example. I've seen one incredible program that's online that it diagnoses backlogs in mathematics and then addresses those with learners online. And I think a lot of the time we don't use that because maybe teachers feel that they can't do it and they don't need to do it, you see. And we also have, I think, some fears that some teachers think that they might be replaced by technology. And I don't believe that for a second. I think that technology needs to be integrated as much as possible into teaching. Teachers need to learn how to use it, but we will always need teachers. And I think we need to, sometimes the message out there is we just get rid of teachers. We don't think they're good enough. We must rather just have, computer programs teaching our children. But there's no way they can teach things like social skills and also, just mediate issues that are really complex that people maybe don't understand. So I think it can really create opportunities for us to use technology like that for mathematics, where we have a really bad mathematics take-up rate and a lot of people really battle with it. And it's highly specialized. We don't always have enough specialist teachers who can do that. And we can use that for that purpose. We can also use highly specialized, as you say, master teachers, for example, to do things like streaming, which we're also focusing on in the Western Cape. Stream it to rural areas where maybe there aren't enough learners in one particular class for a teacher to be justified, but they can then still learn through the subject by online means. So I think there are really a lot of possibilities. And yes, I think it's a fantastic seminar. It sounds really interesting. So good luck.
Thank you once again for your support at the Western Cape. We're really grateful for all of your colleagues in the department, and we look forward to the participation of all teachers in the Western Cape for sure. Thank you once again,
Right.
Debbie, and we wish you well and look forward to seeing you at the summit. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thanks, Vikas. Bye-bye.